right, and we are back working on our decals. So what do we have left to do? We have this piece right here. So this should be pretty straightforward. It's not so complicated. Then we did this one yesterday, and we also need to do this. Okay, so this is gonna be a big piece with this small one here as well. And we will divide it into two decals, because if then we're making an environment and we want to reuse, let's say, this piece, we can. So remember that what you do is not specific to the model you're working on. Since you're going to be using that trim sheet, and it's going to be a separate material, you can use it wherever you want on the environment, as long as you use those decals. But we're going to do that. Like, oh, by the way, I just noticed that there is something here. What is this? This is a couple of circular lights. Well, I didn't notice them before. I just did. Yeah, that's a couple of circular lights. Well, to be fair, we already did this, so could just reuse it. I mean, it's gonna be just fine. Yeah, you can just reuse it. Sometimes you can reuse decals, sometimes you have to make new ones, but in this case, I'm pretty sure we can reuse them. Oh, and we might want to make one here as well, because I think yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't accidentally open Lightroom. Great. I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure I did not make this geo. So yeah, we're gonna probably have to. Gonna probably have to use a decal for it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It's a small enough detail that we can just use a decal for it. How come I didn't see it? That was not smart. Okay, well, fair enough. We're gonna. Unbelievable. I mean, theoretically, I could just go in and kind of do it anyway, like onto the model. It's okay, maybe I'll actually model this part, but let's see. So first of all, let's begin with this one. Yeah. So let's delete the cube as tradition demands. Hit numpad 7 and go to top view. And once again, we make our lovely plane. This looks like it's 2 on the x. So sx2. Actually, maybe 1.5. That's more like it. Cool. Then going to edit. Actually, no, first apply rotation scale. Going to edit, inset slightly, just like that. And then we mirror it on the X. Going to edit again. Click, select these three, symmetrize. Cool. Now, how does it look? So this is, oh, this is pretty straight, and this one is a bit chamfered. Okay, so we're gonna grab these two, chamfer them up. Just about there. And then we're gonna select everything else and bevel them slightly. Just like that. Okay, so now what do we want to do? We want to drop this one, and then we're gonna grab the inside part and just use that. So let's drop it a bit, and then we can inset it. Let's not inset it too much, just a little bit, because I want a kind of a small gap. And dissolve that edge. Then what I want to do is that I actually want to grab these, right? Actually, you see. Okay, cool. Grab these and GX and move them, because that is actually what it looks like. Yeah, see, there's that part that looks like it's empty. So yeah, and then we can just grab this, just duplicate it, drop it down, P, separate selection, go back into object mode, select that. By the way, first let's actually grab this, and we're gonna sharpen it. Then let's grab this, and we go into edit mode, and we inset this and scale it down. Actually, should we? Actually, maybe not. Let's not inset it yet. Let's just extrude it up. Yeah, let's drop it here for now, but I actually want to snap it on the vertex. So GZ and just control and hover over one of these vertices. And now it's flashed. Cool. So now we inset ever so slightly and then scale down a little bit. Just like that, I would say it's enough. And dissolve this edge. Okay, and also the last thing we can do is we can give it a chamfer. Thing is, if we want to chamfer it, see, it's gonna mess with these, right? So what we can do here, can actually select all of them and just scale them up like that. But of course, it's gonna mess around with the thing. So so what we can do instead, well, first of all, we can dissolve these edges because we can. So then what we can actually do is that we can scale it down a little bit more. Then we grab these. We might want to set it to individual origins. Okay, it's not working either. Okay, I think we have to do this manually. Yeah, we can scale them a bit, scale up the bevel by GG or just scaling. I would honestly recommend to do it like with a number, because then it's doable on exactly the same on the other side, or you can always just mirror it, you know. We're just gonna mirror it, but right, I think that's more than enough. As you can see, it's kind of skewed, so we're gonna GY and just, yeah. For some reason, see, like, I don't understand why this doesn't work in Blender. It's kind of annoying. I wish we could see this is the active element, and I could just line it up with that, but I cannot. Like, it does snap, but it snaps onto the thingy. Maybe we can do it with active element. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So it was just me being dumb, and now it actually works. Okay, great. Then we're gonna. So remember, if you want to line it up after you scale it, right? All you need to do is make sure that the active element is the vertex that is supposed to be aligned with another vertex, and just click on active element, and then you G, X, or Y, or Z, depending on where you want to snap, and then you just control onto the vertex you want to snap it to, and it's perfectly fine. And honestly, I want to GX and kind of bring it in a little bit, just like this, just a little bit. Cool. And then we can symmetrize. Now, this one we can get rid of. Now it's perfectly flat. Cool. And now we can chamfer it. Very nice. I like it. And sharpen. As you can see, there is not a lot of geometry here, which is not ideal, but it will serve our purpose. Then segment bevel. And we good. Sweet. So then we do the same here. 10 segment bevel. And that's it, I think. Yep, just grab this one, shift. Actually, first of all, let me check that everything is correctly marked sharp. Otherwise, we're gonna have a bad time. And it seems like everything is correctly marked as sharp. That's good. This one we could increase the, the distance a little bit, but it's actually fine. Right, okay. So select this, go into machine, and we make sure that the settings are all max, no emission baking, create subset decal, and we wait. Sweet, and we are done baking once again, and it looks good, but as per usual, we are gonna make a sphere, scale it up, give it a new material, which will darken, make metallic, and we are just gonna grab the decal, duplicate it, scale it up. Of course, I need to really change this from the blender thing. Okay, sphere is too low poly. It's going through. Look, when you have issues like this, so just this is a side note. So this is because the mesh is very low poly. Okay, see? Oh, it's not exactly very low poly, but well, it's clipping through the decal because it's low poly. So here you have two options. Either you increase the amount of polygons by simply I did Control+2, which added a subdivision surface modifier, and it's fixed. Or you just click on the decal D, adjust, and then you hold shift and you slide up. And that's it. So it's up to you really. For the sake of seeing really well what I'm doing, I'm just gonna increase subdivisions, and if I apply the modifier, now you will see that it's way more dense, the geometry. And obviously, well, the decal is unchanged because when it was applied, that's how it was. So we can delete it if you want, and you can reapply it. Oh Jesus, you can reapply it, and now if you go check, now it's matching the geometry underneath. And honestly, it looks absolutely beautiful, great, fantastic. We will drop the parallax and increase it slightly, and I would say we are good. That looks very nice indeed. Okay, cool. So now we can save it. So I'm pretty sure this would be a handle. I'm not sure what number of handle that is. This is actually the second one. PI underscore handle 2. Fair enough. Good. Sorted. Select everything and delete. Let's delete the camera as well, as it's useless. And what now? Now we gotta do the big boy. This one. Actually, no, first we make this small one. Now this is confusing a bit. I'm not entirely sure how this is. It's hard to tell, isn't it? I mean, I know this looks like a cylinder with the. I mean, it looks like a handle that you just pull up. But this and this and that. I don't understand if this is going outward or inwards. I think it's going outwards, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna take some artistic liberty for this. Because it's, yeah, I'm just gonna put it to the side and work on it. So let's make a plane SY, I think 1.5. Oh, 1.5 might be a bit too much. 1.3. Oh, that's more like it. And just apply rotation scale. Just this time, though, I kind of want to scale it a bit, just like that. Symmetrize. And grab these faces. As per usual, we do the same thing we always do. But now, so now I want to approach this a little bit differently. So, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So, because that one will be poking out the top part. For now, I'm like trying to think about what to do with this. So this is like it's poking out. Then it's like, so we could just bevel it first, inset, Let's try it. So I'm gonna bevel this about that much. And then what I want to do is that I actually want to bring this up. Yeah. And then I'll inset it. Now I don't want to inset it much, but after I inset it a little bit, I am then gonna proceed to grab these and GY. Oh, I forgot this one. GY. And just like that. And now, yeah, now I think we could extrude it up. Just a little bit. Inset. Delete this outer one. I think I did not inset it enough. Let's inset it a bit more. Yeah. Now we extrude it. Let's see. Okay, so extrude, inset, select this edge, delete. Okay, that is better. Now this part, although I wanted to kind of go down like this. Now this is gonna cause some problem because, yeah, there is no, like, it's not really going down on a straight line. This face, it's skewed as hell, not to say something else. So what I would actually rather do is this. So let's grab the cutter and we grab the knife and we just make a cut here. Now, can get rid of these, to be honest. Don't need them. But we'll keep those. And then we can just slide this to the bottom. And now it should not be skewed because there's this one. If you want, Jesus, okay, always forget. If you want, you could technically bevel this a little bit. Give it like a few. And now it should look fine. Now when you bake it, it's gonna look like it goes down all the way to this point. So that should be fine. Yeah, that will work. So there are a couple corrections that we can still make. For instance, this point can easily match this point. But if you remember, I just went and slide it without actually merging the points. So let's collapse. And let's collapse as well. And then we GY and just match the thing. What? GY and match. Okay. I did figure I didn't have it selected. To be honest, these two we can collapse as well. Actually, at last. And we can just mirror it once we're done. Yeah, that looks definitely fine. Okay, so let's just proceed to symmetrize on the other side. Yeah, I think this is okay. Cool. Can work. Another thing I actually would rather do, I'm not sure it's a good idea though, is to grab this and bevel it, but obviously it's gonna, I know I'm doing it only on one side, no need to yell at me. Obviously this is gonna be an issue, but I wonder, what if we just merge everything at last? See? Could that work? Yes, it can. So that was my plan, is to actually bevel it like that. Um, yeah, that can work, but it has to be done a bit better because I selected this as well, which is pointless. Don't need to select everything because we can always symmetrize it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, cool, like that is fine. Then we just grab all this and that and that and merge it last. That's also sharpen. Sweet. Looks good. Now this one I actually do not want it sharpen. Is that double edge going on there? Okay, to figure out if there is a double edge, I'm just gonna yeah, two edges. So there is something going on here, which, ooh, okay. Okay. So we'll have to fix it. Yeah, I see. Okay. So can fix that in a sec. Now the way we fix it, that's that's pretty annoying. We'll have to just a cut tool and just try to merge them at last. Wonder if there's still a double edge. No, should be one only now. Yep. Now we can actually symmetrize. Oh yeah, now it's clean. Look at that. Perfect. It's like merging in flawlessly. Obviously, like I said, I don't want these marked. That's perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Great. So, what we do now is we grab this face, we drop it, honestly a bit, but, but, what I also want to do is to inset it, delete the outer one. Now these, I'm gonna go back and merge them at last because I want it to be on a slope, just like that. Great. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Now this one we could get rid of, I think. Yes. Okay, sweet. We're at a good point. So now what I want to do, let's start with the cylinder, yeah? Let's make a cylinder, make it like 100, and we rotate it on the Y, 90 degrees. Let's just reduce it, but on the X, so that it gets scaled down properly. Let's reduce the X as well, just a little bit. I think this is more or less the, no, actually, no. It's actually a little bit smaller than this. Yeah, it's like this. And now let's scale it down even a little bit more. We can always fix this later, it's not a problem. But I don't know if I want it to be poking out like that much. That's the thing. Because remember, when we go baking it, it's gonna look weird as shit. I might want it to stick out a bit, just not that much. I don't know if I want to actually put it a bit in like this or not. I don't know. For now, we'll leave it here. This could look very wrong if we mess around with it too much. Apply rotation scale, sharpen. Now it seems pretty straightforward. Like these two are just beveled pretty heavily, like that. That's it. That's the cylinder. We could sure make it a bit more interesting by doing something like, you know, that. Remember not to work too symmetrically when you do these things, because if you're too symmetrical, it's not It's not good. Uh, Bounding box center. Sorry, what? Ah, okay. Was like, what the hell is going on? Okay, cool. And then we can just chamfer them, sharpen. Yeah, that's a cool little detail in there. I'll just leave it at that. And we could put something. I mean, we could even use some emission here, but yeah, I'm not gonna waste too much time doing that stuff. Like, it can be done. So let's add a 10 segment bevel, and that's the cylinder done. Now we have to do the rest. So I'm another cube, scale it down. I think like that is fine. Scale it on the Y as well. And then just scale it on the Z, just drop it somewhere like here. At least that's what it looks like. I can get it a bit closer to that. Okay, in all fairness, I could just, whatever, I could just grab this, duplicate it, drop it, separate selection, select it, go into this view, and then go into edit mode, and okay, this is kind of, yeah. Pretty sure I can dissolve these vertices. Yep. And then what I can do is I can grab this and this and this, GZ, and match them to one of these vertices. And dissolve this vertex as well, symmetrize, kaboom. Cool. Now exit the solo view. I can then raise it up ever so slightly. Actually, no need. Just extrude it up to something like this point. Insert it, delete, dissolve this edge, move it a bit, like so, maybe scale it slightly. Yeah, that's good. Now it doesn't need to reach all the way there, so we will G, Y, and reduce it a little bit. Cool. Now this part, we can also maybe, yeah, we can chamfer it, it's fine. Ooh, okay. Let's also bevel it slightly. Taking a bit of an artistic liberty here. Sharpen. Chamfer. I'd like to keep it as clean as possible. What we can do is then also do this. So we create a loop cut, grab the bottom side all the way to this point. Then we extrude it. Where is it? Oh, okay. And this as well. Okay, so we're back to this simple one, if you can call it that. Just grab this and just GX. Just duplicate it. Easy. Not exactly what I wanted to do, but it will work. Maybe we can lower it. There you go. That's fine. I didn't even want it to be perfect, like beveled. I guess, and this looks fine. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I can work with that. Okay, now we need to make the handles that actually reach the bloody thing, right? Yeah, they're almost here, like they're running like here, okay? So what we want, actually what I'm gonna do is to put the origin point there. This time make a plane though, RY90 minus. Just scale it on the z-axis. Just gonna go into edit mode and GY. Wanna do something like this. I'm gonna make a very simple handle. I'm not gonna go crazy with this. Like, just wanna check. Okay, so we might have to scale this a little bit. It's gonna stretch slightly, but it's okay. I mean, it's so small that you don't even notice it. Okay. So then we can make this. We can rotate it on the X. Remember that we are baking down, so it doesn't need to be like crazy good, eh? Remember that. I mean, as in like you don't have to do the bottom side or even care about it, to be honest. Because we're baking top to bottom, so it will not show. By the way, this one, the parallax will have to be minimal. Otherwise, it's gonna look terrible. Yeah, I mean, I think something like this, more or less. Cool. Now, let's reduce it a bit to here. Yeah, say that's fine. Then we can duplicate this, drop it, and shift select and difference. Actually, I didn't even need to do that, to be honest, but yeah, whatever. And operations smart apply, and now this is cut. Here. I didn't even need to do that. And then just bevel it at this point. It's gonna look fine, even when it's big top to bottom like this. Like, we're just not gonna use a lot of, we won't use a lot of parallax anyway, so it's fine. Like, you're not even gonna see, like, I'll show you what I mean. Anyway, so we're pretty much done. Now all we need to do is select this, shift select the center, and just modifier apply. Done. Yeah, that's it. So now we'll make sure to apply all modifiers to everything, because we need to merge all this, and the modifiers are different. So this one does not have any, actually, so we'll give it one. Bevel to 10. Perfect. And Bob's your uncle. Now 1, 2, 3, Control J. So this should all be one piece. Okay, now this should also be one piece with this. And there is only the cylinder that is not with it. Yep. So select cylinder, select shift, select the other one, and bake it. Cool. When it's done baking, yeah, as you can see, the parallax is just oof. This will not parallax well, and it always happens with stuff like this. So you gotta keep that in mind. See, this does not parallax really well. So let's drop the parallax and take a look. Check for shading issues. And it looks really clean. Nothing wrong. Anyway, so this is PT handle 3. At the library, delete everything. Cool. Now, last one that we have to do is this one. So SY3. No, that's way too much. SY2. Yeah, SY2 looks more like it. Yes. Okay. Apply rotation scale. And, again, we do the usual. So this And then this. Do, do, do. Cool. Now the bottom part, it's definitely beveled like that. And the top part, we will perhaps leave it like this. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And we drop it. I'm actually wondering. Actually, we don't drop it. Let's just inset it. And let's just make a, not triangulate. Let's just do this. And let's bevel it. One segment. Just drop it down. Yeah, like that. Yep. And then we can just inset. This. Grab this. All of it. GUI. Then grab this. And I think we can just drop it down. Like so. Wait, maybe not. Hold on. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do this as well. Then we select both. But Jesus, what the hell? Then just drop them down. Yeah, let's just slide it. Okay, much better. And we will give it a 10 as per usual. Yes. Then what I want to do, make a cube. Scale it on the X. And scale it on the Y. Scale it on the Z. That's fine. Move it here. Yeah. Then apply rotation scale. Grab these. Just bevel them up. Once again, taking full artistic liberty here. I have no idea. Like, it's not. Just looks different there. Honestly, I have no clue what the hell. How the hell it was done. That's fine. Then, yeah, I'm gonna grab the cutter here and slice it up like this. Yep. And I'm gonna ever scroll, grab it, duplicate it, bring it to mid, SX, SX, different zip, again. Shit, it's offset. Okay. The origin is offset, but it's not a big deal. Oh no, actually no, never mind, it's not. But I'm dumb. We will just mirror it. Actually, no, yeah, first we need to smart apply. And then we can mirror it, yeah. Otherwise I would have had to mirror the modifiers, I didn't want to do that. Okay, maybe this is a bit too much. Let's reduce it a little bit. That's better. And what we can do is we can grab these. Oh my god, I swear every time. So select these, that's enough. And we can just bevel slightly. And these we can also bevel slightly. Actually, that looks really bad. Let's chamfer these. And let's not touch the others. Right. So now we will symmetrize. Then we can grab this face and set it just a bit. Dissolve. Cool. Cool. And wait, what can we do next? Let's bring cursor to selected. Make a cylinder. RY 90. Scale down. Scale down but on the X. GY. Scale it up but not on the X. And now a bit on the X as well. Move it on the Y. Cool. Let's sharpen. Let's grab this and first apply rotation scale and chamfer it a little bit. That looks good. Just make a loop cut, bevel this, and extrude along normals. Grab these two wedges, SX, just a little bit, chamfer, sharpen, done. Yes, now I actually want to do this. Geometry is so dense. But this, do I want it symmetrized? Yeah, let's leave it symmetrical. I'm gonna leave it symmetrical, it's fine. And that's another piece. And for these, I'm gonna do this similar thing. Although, I'm gonna first of all grab these two, and I'm gonna go cursor to selected, so it drops the cursor in the middle. And then I will make another cylinder. Actually, I messed up because I made it into edit mode. I'll make another cylinder, RY90. Okay, drop it a bit more. Yeah, I'm gonna scale it up, but on the X. So like this. Yeah, that's fine. Just bring it up a bit. No, actually, no, I'm gonna leave it on the same plane, more or less, as that one. A little bit higher. Okay, that's fine. Jesus, that's fine. Sharpen. Okay, grab these two. First of all, apply rotation scale. Give it a chamfer. Like, I think like this, but it's too small. So I will increase it a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's about right. Bevel, 10 edge, I mean 10 segments, not triangulate. Actually, I'll do this, then I'll do this, and grab these two. Bevel. And extrude along normals. Very nice. And grab these, SX. No, actually, you know what? Grab these, select individual origins, SX. Perfect. And then I'll just grab these 2 edge loops and just chamfer them as well. That's fine. And grab this, and mirror it. That's it. I think that's more than enough detail needed there. Yeah. And it can all be one material, so obviously we need to sharpen this, by the way, and bevel it up because needed. 10 segments and kaboom. And now we just apply everything to everything else. This one was not beveled even. Ooh, what is happening? It was not detecting it. Yep. To use the thingy there. Wait. This is already beveled. Let's apply it. And 3, 4, join. Done. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. Create simple decal. Okay, and we're done. Let's take a look at it. Looks like we have some shading issues, but I'm not sure until I drop it. Yeah, that looks messed up. What? Let's hide it. Yeah, because of course I didn't, okay. Isolated. Said isolated. Oh, of course it's all one block. Okay, cool. Let's just select it, one face, Control L, P, separate. Now we want to, yeah, this was not sharpened, and that's what happens as per usual. When you don't sharpen things, ugly things happen in the shading. Okay, so back to this. See, like it's all shaded incorrectly, like it's artifacts everywhere. You can always fix this in Photoshop, you don't need to rebake it, but this is such an easy fix that might as well rebake. So merge. Make sure they're merged. Yep. And rebake. Actually, let's remove the instant decal. Remove. Oh shit. Did not intend to remove that, but I will delete hierarchy of the cutters and just rebake it. Alright, done again. Now, doesn't look like there are any shading problems anymore since we sharpened that face. Let's just project. And we drop parallax and just increase parallax slightly. Just cannot really increase parallax much. Otherwise we're gonna have a bad time. Cool. It's fine. So we're gonna call this panel 2 because there was already a panel. Not 92, but 02. I think we're good. Oh, we forgot a decal. God. This one here. Make our usual plane. This can be just square. We don't need to make it rectangular. And yeah, just grab a cutter. There's a knife. Okay, no, that's not. That's more like it. 100 points. Okay, radiating from the center. And that's it. I don't want to do it too close to the edge because we have also another area here. Another thingy, like piece of geometry. So anyway, mirror it and just symmetrize. Good. So it is pretty simple. It's not that difficult, but there is this part as well. So I have to think about 1 second how to do this because I think I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. Yeah. Right. Let's see. How can we do this? So, best way would probably be to, for this part, just grab this duplicate and separate the selection so that we have this string of Jesus, string of vertices, not of Jesus. And we would, yeah, we would just extrude them. Along the Y. I might want to, first of all, actually just grab this and drop it a little bit and scale it and do it a couple more times because that's what this is, more or less. Yeah, I mean, somewhere like, okay, that's a bit too deep. And it's, this I'll leave chamfered, and this I can bevel. Something like that. Yeah, that looks good. Now this, so, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this for now. Then I want to get rid of this. Shit, what's going on? Oh no, never mind. It's just, I'm gonna raise it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna recalculate the normals and flip. Okay, so now they're correct. And then I guess I'll grab this and just do this. Yeah, that's not so bad. I can work with that. Gotta be a bit smaller, but the idea is there. Maybe a bit smaller. Okay, now it's aligned a bit better. And I would say it's like about that big, actually. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. I'll manually select it because the invert selection didn't work. Okay. Yeah, I think that's actually okay. Yeah, it's something like that. It's not really perfect. I'll have to scale it on the Y slightly, make it look right. That's better. Doesn't need to be perfect, but better it looks. And then what we would do is we drop it a bit, like to here, and just extrude it up. By the way, this face we can just, let's actually go into solo view and just grab all this and merge it. Now let's go on top, grab the top face, inset, get rid of this edge. And I would say we can comfortably grab these two and maybe bevel them just ever so slightly. And these as well. Just like that. Cool. Sharpen. Maybe this we can chamfer or bevel it. Maybe we'll bevel it. Looked a bit better. Watch not to clip the bevel that is already in place. Yeah. That is good. Okay, exit solo mode. I'll get back on top. And we are gonna... Oh shit, did I just cut something? Okay. Sharpen. I mean, that's pretty much it, really. This part is very rounded. Oh, yeah. That's good. Right, actually, is it like a... it is. Yeah. Okay, so we'll grab both of those and just... I would give it a nice big bevel like this. Big figure of speech. Yeah. No, yeah, that's good. But what I need to do is make it a different color because you see the inside is a different material. So How about, so we just grab the center, radiate the selection further, P, separate selection, go to this one, isolate, grab this edge loop, close it, grab it, and I would say drop it like such. Super deep. We don't need it to be that deep, but whatever. It's fine. And about this, so what we can do with this is to actually also, I'll show you why, also grab it, EZ, and just close it. Because now we can insert, oh shit, we can, no, maybe not insert it, just slide this edge a bit inwards, like that. Yeah, just a little bit. And then we can just grab it and bloop, we can bevel it like this. Now when we exit, very nice. Although, if you notice, this one is quite sharp, and then it goes straight down, and as you know, that's a big no-no. So let's remove it, and let's unhide everything else. And now it looks nice. There's a little gap, and now it's just a different material. So this one, yeah, this one has, yeah, okay, no, this one has no bevel, but it's fine because it doesn't need to have one. Yep, okay, so that's fine. This one does not possess a bevel, and it doesn't necessarily need one either. Sure, the bottom is a little bit like that. We can manually bevel it, it's fine. This one does not have a bevel either, but this one should have it. Then, and just like that. Cool. Now this one is the other mat, so it's fine. These two we need to join together. So then we grab this, grab that, and where is it? Where are you? Machine. Okay, yeah, there you go. And just no emission, create subset. Okay, splendid. We're done with this one too. Take a look at everything. Is nice and sharp. Looks like it. As always, though, as good tradition dictates, we're gonna make our sphere. And we're gonna test it. Because that's what it's all about. Cool. Okay, let's drop the parallax to 0. Cool. Look at this. Very nice. Beautiful. Match. Sweet. Sweet. Okay, cool. So we adjusted. Okay, no, just the parallax. Just like that. There is a bit of, yeah. Maybe a little bit less. That'll do. Cool. And that one's done too. So we'll save it as, God knows, circular. No, wait. PI circle handle. I don't know. We'll call it stuff. We don't even need to give them names, to be fair, but it's just easier that way. Okay, select everything now. We can begin with the trim sheet. So we delete everything, go into top view, and we make a new plane. Now pay attention, because this is going to be trim sheet, and it's going to be a little bit different. So we grab our plane and we scale it up like that, like a little bit more, like not too crazy. Let's say S1.5. Okay, maybe 1.5 is a bit too much. 1.3. Okay, that's good. Then we make a cube. Perfect. And we leave it in the middle. What we want to do is to grab the cube, then we shift grab the trim sheet, and we select booleans, knife. So what happened here is that we created a cut like that. See? Why is this? Because we go bake from top to bottom, right? And this will be the line where our bake ends. Now, we want to go a little bit over when we create stuff, because simply it's gonna help us like with baking. And if you start insetting stuff and like trying to sort of like give things slanting in order to, you know, like prevent, you know, like stretching, not stretching, but like, you know, when stuff is baked top to bottom, and like I always tell you, it doesn't look good when you go bake it. So this way we can prevent the sides to be pushed in, okay? And we can also prevent other issues that can happen. So always give it a bit of a leeway to the sides like this. Anyway, we're gonna do like for decals exactly the same. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna symmetrize. And we are good to go, almost. But what we wanna do as well is to limit a little bit to give it another material, just so that we can understand that one is different from the other. Okay, so normally what I would do is to just give it a material and then create a new material, and I'll give it to the outer one, pretty much like this. Like make it a little bit darker, but there you go. At least now I know that this part inside is the part I'm interested in. Okay, so like we said, there isn't a whole lot to make here. It's just these two trims. There's nothing else. Like, it's super straightforward. Like, nothing crazy. Just this and this. Then we're gonna bake it, and then we can make the atlas. So, I'm gonna make a couple extra ones just to see, because you never know. I already have them ready. Actually, it's just I'll do it for the sake of the tutorial. Like, I will show you how to do it. So we will yeah, first things first, we need to actually grab everything and just extrude it down of a bit. Like, don't do it too much. It depends on how deep you want it to be. um and when we go baking, I will explain you how to actually do it, but I would just extrude it about this much, and that's it. Then what we can do is that we can grab the box cutter, just go into box cut, and we can just make our first cut. I would make it something like, don't be afraid to make it pretty big. Like, don't make it like this. Like, make it decently big, like this. Okay, just drop it down. Now, this is exactly what you don't want to do. Like, cut it all the way to the bottom. You don't want this. So we're gonna go into ever scroll, grab it, and just bring it back up. And we're gonna do it about this much, I would say. It's more than enough. It's plenty. Okay, you don't want it any more than this, right? And we're just gonna straight up smart apply it, and then just hide. Cool. Now, we want to grab this face. Don't inset it this time. I mean, you could do it, but see, when we inset it, we also pull the sides. So just scale it on the Y, see, like this, so that we don't pull inside that part there. And but that's also the reason why we bake it, leaving some space, because if you do stuff like that, you don't have to worry about it. So we'll inset it, and we will do it quite a bit, actually. We'll give it a bit of a thingy, like a bit of a space. And then we can just select this and this. Okay, that just selected everything. Oh my god, why do I always forget this? So bloody annoying. Yeah, no, that's just selecting everything. So I'm gonna manually go in control and select the other one. Select this one, control, and select the last one. And then, so I was thinking to chamfer it, maybe. Actually, it rather looks more beveled than chamfered, I'm not gonna lie. This one looks more chamfered on one side only, though, for some reason. Okay, so we're gonna treat it as a bevel. We're gonna give it quite a bit, like that much of it. Yeah, cool. So there's this one. And for the other one, what we want to do is the same story. We'll leave it some more space. It doesn't really matter, honestly, because you will see why later. We're going to make it a bit smaller, just a little bit. And just like this, and bring it up. So we can, once again, operations and smart apply. We can then go into here, and before we scale it down, actually, we want to make the second cut. So that second cut is also going to be important. The way we're going to do it is to make only one cut, I believe. Could have easily been a decal, to be fair, but I know that, but still. And we need to check out the proportion a little bit. It's actually a little bit wider. No, it's not. It's not. So we'll ever scroll, grab it, GZ, bring it back up. Now, here's the thing. Like, when you cut through, you also have to figure out like how deep you want to cut. Because if you want to make it the same as the other one, you can do it. It's going to be annoying, but you can do it. I'll show you how. So cut it pretty close, like this, right? Actually, I want to make sure that the cut is perfectly aligned to the center. So if you really want that, you go like this and you go selection to cursor, then you GY, and then you start bringing it up. If you want to be even more precise, by the way, you can actually do this. Like you grab these two, you put cursor to selected, just like this, and then you select this one and you go selection to cursor, and then you bring it back up. Now we are sure it's absolutely in the center, dead center of the thing. Yeah, just drop it like here, and then just grab this one, operations and smart apply, hide the cutter. Yeah, go from top view, grab the knife, press 1, C, Y, press, enter, knife, C to cut through, Y to cut on the Y axis, click, and now we have these lines. See? Now what we can do is we can, oh my god, okay, we can GZ and slam it in that. There you go, just like this. Now those are going to be overlapping vertices. So what you want to do is that you go into X-ray view and you select this and see there are two verts, and then you collapse. Collapse, collapse, and collapse. Now we check that everything is good, and it is. And ta-da. And now if we go to sharpen and then bevel, you will see that is beveling correctly. You're welcome. This is the easiest way I can possibly think of doing this. Obviously now if you want to do the top to bottom thing, by the way, we can get rid of these, just saying. If you want to do the top to bottom thing like we did, so that we leave a little bit of a gap, you cannot do it because if you grab this one and you scale, it's gonna look weird, you see. So here you actually want to inset it, and this is when the thing I was saying before comes into play. The thing I was talking about is that, see that these sides are gonna be pulled inwards, but that's fine because we don't care, because we're gonna be baking from this point on, so you won't see it there. But now we have to be careful because let's first hide the bevel 1 second. Now if we go select this, see, and we dissolve it, everything is gonna, oof, everything is gonna collapse. So we have to do this smart. So we grab this, and then we grab this and this. Why was this one selected? And then this. And then we can just symmetrize if something doesn't work. And dissolve it, and it collapsed. Okay, probably because this is also selected. And it collapsed because this is also selected. Can you stop? Okay, good, it stopped. Nice. See, now this one is here and it's not good, but we can do this, and that's fine. Yeah, that looks fine. It's enough. And then we do the same for this side. We grab this, 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 and this. We dissolve. Did I just grab the wrong one? Oh my god, I'm stupid, eh? Okay, let's redo it, because I'm stupid. So we grab this, this, and this, and we dissolve. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if you really want, not go there and redo stuff, just symmetrize it. We can do it because this is in the middle. That's why we can symmetrize it. Smart. So, now what we want is also one of these to be chamfered. So we grab this and we give it a nice chamfer. Like such. I might be a little bit... No. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Yep, nice chamfer like that. And maybe we can give these two a little bit of an... Jesus. A little bit of an extra bevel. You know, just to make them look a bit more interesting. Or hell, even a chamfer, you know. Would give them a... maybe a chamfer. Why not? That looks nice. And sharpen. And let's give everything a tiny bevel. Cool, so we give it a little bit of a bevel. And obviously, well, this is a problem. So when I chamfered, I obviously did not chamfer this side also. And that was not very smart of me. I mean, the bake should be fine, but I like to do things properly. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna go back and fix it, because being dumb is not an excuse for being lazy. I mean, I am lazy, but sometimes laziness is good because it makes you find useful shortcuts for things, but Jesus. Okay, so better. Now, we beveled these. Actually, we chamfered them slightly, just like that. Slight chamfer. Let's remove the bevel because I had to redo it. Resharpen and bevel. About that much. About this edge, I'm not sure. We might actually bevel this one. No, it looks like it's going straight down. Yeah, maybe a slightly bigger bevel than the other one. But that's about it. Cool. Okay, and that one we can we can leave it pretty sharp. That's okay. Of course, this one's gonna be messed up, but we do not care. We do not care. See this shit? This is horrible. We don't care because, you know, it's holding because we're gonna bake from here. So it's all good. What we need to do next, though, is to make sure we marked everything as sharp. So for example, when you do stuff like this, see that you bevel that heavy, and then you let it mark sharp, it's not gonna mark stuff like this. So you gotta do it manually. So mark it and mark it. By the way, the bevel, let's make it so that it's weight. Oh no, if we do it as weight, it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna mess around with that. So no. Let's do it as an angle bevel. It's better in this case. One of the very few cases when it is better. Stuff like this also, you have to manually mark it, because otherwise it's not gonna happen. And mark it. And you have to make sure that the whole perimeter is marked. But if you let it mark the angle by itself, it will do it. So that's it. We don't really need to do anything at all anymore. Let's just hide the bevel, check that everything is marked, and everything is marked. Great. So now the last thing left to do is to bake it. So how do we bake it? By using GrabDoc. GrabDoc is the easiest way of baking things. Yeah, GrabDoc, setup scene. And as you see, it sets up the scene with the plane exactly where our, wait, let me turn on materials. I'll hide the plane, actually the GrabDoc plane, and look, see, it's overlapping exactly where the plane is because it takes into consideration a 2 by 2 meters plane. So if you create a plane at the starting point, well, it's gonna create the plane right there. So the issue, you may have guessed, is that now if we go bake, we're gonna see nothing. Okay, maybe we're gonna see, yeah, we're gonna see this, and that's it, because the plane is at 0, 0 coordinates, like on the into the world, and we extrude it down. That was on purpose. So now we can just grab this and extrude it up. Now, how much? Depending, like, it depends on how deep you want stuff to look. Me personally, I think I normally what I do is I just cover everything. So like you see, like, still see the plane here, and now you don't see it anymore, and that's enough for me. Good. Now, if we hit 0, numpad 0, we get into the camera view, and you see we get to this point, and the texture will repeat itself, and we can panel it. So that's all, really. We will see after if we need to make it a bit deeper. We can easily, but for now, I think it's good. So we go into GrabDoc. We choose a path where to save our textures. So as a path, just put it wherever you want. I'll call it TrimSheet for plant incubator, and just save it. Whatever, it's not a problem. The resolution, I'll leave it at 2048 by 2048. That's fine. PNG 16, that's fine. 50 compression is fine. Don't bake groups. We're gonna need the normals, curvature, ambient occlusion, height, material ID. We don't need it. We don't need the alpha, the base color preview, emissive preview, roughness preview. We just need these. That's it. And also, you can check out the preview, by the way. So if you click, see, it's gonna give you a preview of the map. Like, and you can always check, for example, like this is curvature. It's all good. You can check them beforehand, like, to see if they look fine. For example, an important one you want to check is ambient occlusion, because this, you know, if it's too black, you cannot see anything. If it's too bright, it doesn't look deep enough. But this is pretty good. I might want it a little bit deeper later, but we'll see about that. Depends on how deep the decals will look. This is another thing you might want to check, if the ambient occlusion and between the trim sheet and the decals is exactly what you want, because otherwise later is going to be problematic. But we'll talk about it in a second. First of all, I gotta export the maps. So to export the maps, you just click export. In my case, since I have Marmoset, I would rather bake them in Marmoset toolbag. So I'm gonna bake in Marmoset. So this one, I actually want to save it. I'm gonna call it pi_trim, because we might come back in here and change or /redo it. But for now, it looks good. I'm gonna make a new project, and I'm gonna delete the cube. So to get it started, the trim sheet, you just go into the creation panel and you click on initialize, and it will spawn a plane By the way, go into material viewer so that you can see. And then you can load in the textures. So I'm gonna clear the old textures because I have some older ones in here. And I'm gonna load the new ones, which are in pictures and here. Select them all, open. Obviously, this goes without saying, normal goes into the normal. The AO will go into the AO. The curvature will go into the curvature. And the height will go into the height. We don't have any color, metallic, or roughness information, so we can just leave it at this. Now this is going to be useful if you're, for example, making them in Substance Painter, but we're not. Obviously, the parallax is like pretty crazy in the beginning. It's really a lot, so we're going to drop it to 0 also because we need to trim it. So we go on top view like this, and we can begin trimming, okay? The name, by the way, let's call it PI underscore trim. And we can click the plus button. We'll just grab an empty place like this, whatever, doesn't matter. And yeah, there you go. Just click here and this is the empty. So whenever it's not a piece of the trim is gonna wrap it on this one. Then we can just grab this, be a little bit closer than that, like here. That's fine. Yep, just like that. This is a panel, by the way. And then we can just grab this one, duplicate it, and move it down. It is moving a bit all over. Wonder if there is a way of... Okay, never mind. Let's redo this. There must be some way to actually not... Because if I duplicate it, see? I hide this one. The best way is to just grab it and move it like this, to be honest. Not give yourself a headache. Because if you move it from side to side, it's not gonna be aligned here. And then you're gonna go through a world of pain. It's just when you try to let's say panel it, it's gonna give you issues because there is a gap, like maybe it goes through here, like outside, and there is no texture, and you're gonna have problems. So just make sure that, you know, like the end point is here. At the end, right at the end. The only way you know is if you actually start and don't move that point, just move it up or down like I just did. That's it, we're done. So now we can give it back just a little bit of parallax. Don't go like that, see, otherwise it just explodes. Just a little bit like this. Great, that looks fantastic. Trim it. And it trimmed it. Cool. Look at that. Perfect. Good. Now we have to see if it looks good in Unreal, but it might. Guess we'll find out, won't we? So we can now proceed to save it. Create TrimSheet library. Now theoretically, should see it here. Or maybe not, because guess what I have to do? I have to go into the preferences, add-ons, go to Decal, machine. Sadly, this does not update by itself. You have to go in here and click this button. Now if I click D, should show up. There you go, PI trim. And there are these two. Perfect. We may now proceed to go back to our plant incubator. Not saving this. Oh, newer autosave. Okay. So now what we want to do, we might actually want to make a test cube, apply all the trim sheets, make it the atlas, export it, and then check how they look right away. Because if we start to do a lot of work and then it looks like shit, it's gonna be a problem. So what I prefer to do is this. Let's just make a cube. Wow, made it all the way to Kathmandu. Thank you. So cube will sharpen and bevel. a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a segment of 1. Because then we'll do all our shenanigans. And yeah, let's give it the base material. And scale it up. Let's just scale it. So just put the origin point like here. D, Alt, and you click. Thing is that now it's gonna spawn all of the tutorial ones, which includes a whole load of decals that I'm not using now. I'm just gonna select all the ones I don't need, which is up to this, I think. Let's not forget ESP. Okay, cool. And now what I will do, let's just grab these and like bring them here. Grab these, bring them here. Cool. Just grab all of them. RX or Y, no X. Yeah, definitely X. 90. Okay, that was individual origins. It's just bounding box. RX 90. Cool. And then we just scale them down. Bring them all here. GY, no GZ. And just slap them on the Y and just there and deproject with Alt. Kaboom. Okay, we applied all the decals. Now we go into edit mode. We create a loop cut. We bevel it into 2. We grab this whole, Jesus. Hello? The E panel. And what we are gonna do is wait. First of all, let's apply the bevel. So E panel, D adjust, and we hold actually first width adjust, and then we also want to stretch it down because it's too, I don't know why, but when it applies it at first it's super stretched. You cannot even tell what the hell. So we adjust and control scroll. All right. So I actually restarted Blender because it was giving me problems, and maybe now it's gonna work. So adjust, still giving me the other trims for some reason. So at this point I'm not even questioning it anymore. PI trim 01, and I wanna fix the stretch. Not sure why it's being like this, but it looks more or less fine. Okay, now as you see, is very detached from the actual thing, so we can just hit X and it just goes back to being right on top of it. Obviously, Blender is always has this issue, so I have to give it 10 centimeters of clip start. But yeah, that looks fine. And then this one, we do the same story. So we E panel, adjust, and this is gonna be PI trim 2. You see how tightly it's packed? Like, I don't know why, but Decal machine tends to do this for some reason. And we're gonna stretch it out a bit, like so. Cool. So this is pretty much all we need. So adjust X, great. So it looks fine. Might wanna maybe increase the width of this, just to have it a bit bigger and see it a bit better. And stretch it even further. Cool. Now that looks very nice. So all we need to do now is to grab this. So we grab the cube, since they're all children of the cube, because if we move the cube, everything moves with it. We select hierarchy, like that. We go into machine, we go into Atlas, new, normal. We leave it some padding, 4 is fine. and pre-pack panels stretch, but it won't stretch them because we did them right. And then we create a new decal atlas from selection. Maybe we clear out the folder first, and then we create new decal atlas from selection. And it's done. And they created obviously at the origin point, and this is our atlas. Some decals can be smaller, some decals can be bigger. So like we can scale them down later or scale them up, like depending on how much space they occupy. For example, this one occupies quite a bit of space, so we will make it bigger. Some of these are really small, so they don't occupy any space at all, like this one, or this one's also pretty big, by the way. So some of them we'll have to move them and scale them, but all in all, this is all we need. Cool. So for now, we can call this PI test atlas. Parallax, we can leave it pretty low. Like you can do this individually, by the way, for every single decal you want. These are on stretch. Yeah, it's so I'm assuming because it's the stats is on 4,200, so we might want to reduce that because it's 4K. It's a lot. Okay, so now it worked. So what I did is that I put it on tweak. I put it on. Well, first I reduced all of the decals, so I went in and reduced them twice, and then I tweaked it to 2048, and now they're all pretty small. And yeah, that's it. I just tweaked and then I repacked. So first tweak, and they end up all over the place, even outside of the atlas, and then you repack it to specific 2048 with 4 padding, and just click repack, and it's gonna be fine. Now, some of them, I want them to be bigger, like I mentioned. So I'm gonna find them. Like, for example, this one I want it bigger. Like, okay, that's quite big. Maybe like this is fine. Now this one, I also want it bigger. Let's begin repacking now. See, those two stayed big. No, this is fine. That's fine. That's also fine. This I also wanted pretty big. Not that one. I said this one. I said this one. Jesus. Okay, you apparently have to scale it up a little bit before. I don't know. It's so annoying sometimes. Okay, that's fine. This one I also wanted slightly bigger. And I'll repack. Every time you repack, it just repositions them, so that you can actually go and mess around with them. Let's make this one a bit bigger as well. This one too. This one also. Repack. Some of them can be pretty small. This one can be also a bit bigger. The circles, no, they can be quite small actually. I don't need them to be big. So that's fine, a bit bigger also. Oh yeah, this one as well. Let's repack. Yeah, that's not bad, but this one definitely bigger. I'm not sure they will fit this time. We'll see. They do. Yeah, I think that's, for now, that's enough. I can then just give it a name to the atlas and store it. So just select it and PI atlas test. And we will store selected atlas. And the size is correct. Okay, so do it again just to check if it did. Fine. We did store it. So that's great. So now what we want to do, obviously go into preferences, again, decal machine. And we want to refresh so that we can see the atlas. Okay. So we will then select our beloved object. And we will right click and select hierarchy. Use atlases. So if you don't see this, you have to click this. Okay, show export panel. We want to use atlases, but not all of them. We want to only use the PI underscore trim. Oh no, sorry, PI underscore atlas test. My bad. This is a trim sheet. See, but this is an atlas. So atlas test, use atlases. You will see that they will gray out. See, like this. Now they're gray. The texture looks wrong, and that's exactly what we need. Okay, so that's done. And then we need an export location for the textures. And what I want is to actually use the correct folder of the UE projects like to put them in there. Like, and that will always be the folder, so you don't have to like move textures or anything. You just export and they go in. So what I want to do is I want to open Unreal. Go exactly into that folder. Okay, so I open the content browser. I want to definitely go into textures, and I want to make a new folder. And this folder, I'm going to call it atlases. So one is going to be the decal atlas, and one is going to be the info atlas. Nice. So I'll open this one, show in Explorer. And for me, this is the path. I'm just going to copy it. And I'm going to go into decal machine into this and just paste it in. Done. So now it's going to export all of those textures in there. And what I want to have is I actually need to go check what's the requirement for the shader. So the info subset. So I need this one. So this will require masks. So this is group masks though, so they're mashed together. So there's alpha subset. Okay, so it's RGB. Color, no, we'll make it ourselves. AO and normal. Cool. So AO, normal, masks, and height, obviously. Height. No curvature. Emission, we don't have it, so. Oh no, yeah, we do. Just, I'm stupid. So we want packed. That's fine. Masks as well. I'm gonna put in subset too because I'm not sure. I don't think I was using it, but better have it. So height, curvature, we don't need it. AO, maybe alpha too, just to be safe. And we export. So now Blender is gonna do its thing, and Unreal is saying that there are 8 new changes. We're gonna say okay, import them up. And now if we go into our textures, atlases, decal atlas, and textures, well, I created a new folder called textures. I did not want that, but I did it anyway. You can actually delete it, and can literally just grab all of the maps and just put them out back here and delete this one. And now we can check out the textures. Okay, so this one is fine. Cool. So we have all our maps, yeah? Height, emission. Oh, this is AO curve height altogether. Masks. I think for masks RGB, I think it was that one into the material, I'm pretty sure. And then subset, I don't think we need it because it's part of this, of masks. I'm quite sure. We'll figure it out soon enough. I don't recall. So we grab then the cube that we want to export. And if you remember, we have to go here and put export recursive. You can call this test cube. And that's it. File path is going to be the same. Export the static mesh. And just export to Unreal. That's all we need to do. Import. The setup should be fine because we did it the first time, so it's always going to do it the same way. Okay. And now we go in static mesh. Obviously created all these annoying mats, which we can delete. Force delete. Screw you. Obviously the origin point is messed up, but we don't care. But we can see here that, see, this is different. Like there are parts that are strange here, like see these lines, and those are the decals. So what we're gonna do now is we are gonna put on the basic mat. So mi base mat. Yeah, he's giving it this super dark one. Shit. No white material, just no. I just want to put something that background material. Yeah, this is fine to just check. And then we have to select the correct one of the instances. So materials, material instances, shader instances, and my info decal, simple, and subset is going to be subset. Now we cannot see anything because obviously we did not select the maps yet because they are placeholders, but now we can go put the maps in. So AO is the AO and it's not accepting it. Why is that? Let's test. Interesting. See if I can select it. I cannot. Interesting. Well, let's see if the other ones work. So emission works, height will probably work. Yeah. Masks. This is group masks. Normal. And that's the normal. So they all work. Yeah. But ambient occlusion, which we'll have to figure out why. Everything else works, as far as I can tell. Yeah. Obviously, the material, see, it's of the subset is set to white. If I change it to blue, see, it's gonna change to blue. Later, we're gonna make, I think, we're gonna try to make a proper mask for it, so that we can tweak it, because some of them are black, some of them are white, like this one. So yeah, we'll have to make some changes, but for now, let's try to figure out why the AO is not working, as in, like, I cannot even plug it in, and it's not even saying anything about it. So I'm gonna open the master material and just check what's going on here. See, there is the VT under here, and now there isn't. That's what you want. Dumb as fuck. Pardon my French once again. So slap the AO in there. So metalness, we crank it. Roughness, we reduce it. This is for the subset, obviously. Let's leave it at like really low. AO over intensity, we can put it to 0.05, and under intensity as well, we increase it a little bit. And emission, I want it to be fixed, and the emission intensity, we can crank it up slightly. By slightly, I mean to maximum power. Just kidding. Let's put it on 0.5. That's fine. Height ratio, this is something also we can mess around with slightly. See, this is the amount of parallax. I would just This is so funny. It punches out so much. Just a little bit like this. And yeah, maybe we can increase the roughness a little bit because that's really, really lucid. It's glossy as hell. Can put this as a white metal, so some chrome-like material. And now when we look at it, that actually looks hella good. Okay, cool. So we can save it, get out, and let's have a look at it here. Good. Now I don't see the emission in this one and the other one, wherever it may be. So that's odd. So let's reopen one moment the material instance. And I think the emission intensity is maybe a bit too low. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was just too low. So where is it? Emission intensity. Yeah, I gotta be like on 50. Okay. And something is also wrong with this one. It's only doing the sides for some reason. Let me just open the texture. No, the texture is fine. See? Textures are fine. So it either has to do with the AO, which maybe for some reason is messing around with the emission. Because the emission itself, no, that's not a problem. Okay. So what is the problem here? I was checking it out a bit, and the issue seems to be here. So as you can see, the group masks is taking the blue, which is the subset AO. And look at the subset AO. See? This is our rectangle that is only showing emission like there. It's taking this, and it's actually somehow no, never mind, because this is no, it has nothing to do with the emission. Huh. Still confused. Yeah, so it has to do with those maps, because as you can see, if I change it to anything else, it's gonna show that, but when I change it to the correct map, it's not, which is this one. And we need this one because it's the one that differentiates the subset with everything else, because the alpha is indeed correct. Like if we go on the R only, the alpha is fine. See, it's full there. This is the subset. That's also right. This is the AO subset, and this is the one that has that thing, which seems like what the occlusion is using. So that's not good. I'm not sure why. Because the emission is only taking into consideration the emission, but what I'm afraid of is that the opacity, I mean, without what I'm afraid of, I know that the opacity is overriding it. It's just that the opacity is going through here. See, so there is the B, which is the subset occlusion, and the R, which is the alpha by itself, and the alpha is being driven by the normal, 1 minus. And then this one goes into the add for the AO, and then goes into the opacity. So what the hell? So theoretically, if I go edit the occlusion map, it's gonna at least on the blue channel, is gonna actually make the emission pop up, according to this. But it will mess up the occlusion. But it doesn't matter because, well, that one's always gonna be lit anyway. Let's try it. Okay, so I opened Affinity Photo. Well, you might be using Photoshop, but the process is pretty much the same. So what we want to do is we want to go into the composite blue, or well, blue channel. See, like there's red, green, and blue. So remember, this is masks, and we see that the mask is fine. There's green, which is the subset. So there's all the materials that are actually subset. And then there is the blue, which is the ambient occlusion of subsets. At least that's how it's explained. Even though it's also taken into consideration the ambient occlusion of the others, I guess. I don't know. So we can zoom in and go to the bottom. So that's where the problem is, in my opinion. We can try to change it, save it, and see how it goes. But what I want to do basically is just select this, right? And I'll just paint it white. Like, it's really ridiculous, but I mean, I can't think of any other way of fixing this. Now, checking if, see, it didn't modify any others. Perfect. So what we want to do now is save it, or rather export it. That's it. See, now this is all blue. I did override this one, and now it's asking me to import, and I can see already that it's working because now, see, the blue channel is full. And yeah, see, now it works. Also, another complaint you might have is that the lights are very white. Now they're not very bluish as they're supposed to be. So this is another issue that, again, we can easily fix by going into Affinity or Photoshop and fixing it. But I'm not sure I'm done yet, to be honest, with the atlas. So if we change it, we end up also having to change these. So this is something you would normally do at the end. I just wanted to check for this one if it was right. I mean, if I was right by thinking it was the AO subset, and it was. But normally these kinds of changes, you want to do them at the end. But for the sake of checking it out, I'm gonna grab the emission, bring it in. See, they are very, very white, right? So what I can do is I'm gonna go select select sampled color. I'm gonna sample the white. So now it's selected the white. The tolerance, just leave it at really low. It doesn't matter because it's black and white, so it doesn't really matter. I can make a new layer, and I can simply color this something a bit more appropriate. So something like that, a little bit darker. And yeah, that's pretty great. Nothing's gonna happen. What? And nothing is happening because I didn't load in all of the channels, I think. And I need to also make them editable. Otherwise, it's... there you go. So what we can also do, by the way, is to select... I can shrink the selection a little bit. So grow/shrink. And I can... this is what I love about Affinity that Photoshop doesn't do. Is that I can actually see in real time, like how much the selection is shrinking or growing. The bottom one disappeared. Top one did not. So I'm gonna do this actually. Like I'm gonna reduce this a little bit and apply it. Actually, nope. You know what? I'm gonna just delete this selection and just keep this one for now. We'll select and shrink. I'll shrink it off quite a bit and keep it circular. Okay. And then select and feather, and I will feather it up a little bit, like 70. And then I will color it white, or at least a little bit lighter than this, like that. Yep. I'm just gonna do it once. We can do it for this one as well, but I mean, again, we're just messing around. I'm just showing you what you can do. And then we can just save it into the actual folder and just override the emission. There you go. And go back to Unreal. It's gonna ask you to import, and you import it. There you go. Nice. Look at that. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. By the way, don't forget, you can always modify it, as in the emission intensity, by, you know, see, cranking it up or bringing it down. Then it's up to you. This is nice, in my opinion. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, we see that our decals work. They look nice. And I like them a lot. And we can now proceed with the rest of the stuff. Now, in all fairness, the ambient occlusion of these is really low. So that's something we might have to look at in a bit. Like, obviously, you can always increase the AO under intensity, like that. See? But the problem is when you do that, you also modify the one of the decals. So that's why I was saying you want to get it right in the beginning, so that you don't have to go crazy later. And this is a little bit so and so. The best would be to apply it on a much brighter material. See, this is pretty bright, and you can tell that it's not the best. Should have been a little bit darker. Now, it's not the end of the world. It can still be modified also into Affinity Photo, and this is something we might want to do now, or at least as soon as we bring in the actual finished full atlas. But again, something you can easily do in Affinity by just grabbing the AO from the folder, this one, and you can simply darken this whole area, and that's it. Because see, this is really dark, see, this whole thing, but these are pretty light. So that's something you might want to do. But that's pretty much it. So let's go do it real fast. I'm gonna bring in the AO. And we can just grab this area. I want to make sure that we selected it properly. Yep, that's fine. And after we select it, we can grab the curves. So Control M is the same as Photoshop, and we're gonna make it darker, like that. I reckon it's fine, and reduce it of a lot to kind of match the other one. It's okay if a little bit is lighter. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, so now we can save it. Yes. And see how dark it is now. It might be a bit too dark, but we'll see. AO. And override it. And then go back. And ta-da. And now they're super dark, which is what I wanted. Because now I can pull up this thing and reduce it here. Cool. One issue with this is that I don't see the slits. And I believe that is because when I exported it, yeah, there you go. I didn't check this. So that's the thing. Sometimes when you convert it, it's gonna revert it. Like when you use the atlas, it's gonna revert it back to that and re-stretch it in a way that you don't see it. If you have details like that, it's part of the game, I would say. So you would have to go into the UV editor. Actually, no, it wasn't that one, it was this one. This is odd though, because I am supposed to be seeing this. So why am I not seeing it? Oh, that's where it is. Well, that is definitely one way of doing it. Obviously, if I only wanted to show here and not here, per se, I'm just gonna select those. Oh, actually, I need to do this. So select that and just do this. And it's gone. So that's how you do it. Which is the vanilla way of kind of doing this sort of things. And for example, if I want to stretch this less, that's a bit better. You know, you could also put an edge loop and just hide this one, for instance. But we're not going to do that. Just going to keep it this way and export it again because I just want to see how it looks so that then I can be done with this and we can proceed. Okay. Yeah, that looks fucked. Oh, that's because... Yeah, it doesn't look the best, honestly. It's really... Yeah, that can work a little bit better. We might still go in and modify it later, you know? Or we could just keep it like that. Yeah, well, we know that at least they work. And they look good. Obviously, resolution is not the highest, but that's what we wanted. We didn't want to have like a 4K decals texture. By the way, this thing is still around. What the hell? And yeah, now we can start to go and apply them to our actual model and just see if they fit and what kind of modifications we need to do. Good. I will be seeing you later. I encourage you to come to the Discord, to our very full of people Discord. It's literally just a bunch of us, but that's the thing. Like this course is new and the Discord is like a bit old, but you know, I never really used it much. But for the course, I really wanted to use it because I want to see what you guys are up to. I want to see your progress. I want to see if you took some artistic liberties, maybe you had different ideas. Hey, maybe they were better than mine. I want to see them. Okay, so come on over, like click on the link in the description and post your artwork in the share your progress. Like for now there is only, well, James that posted, but very nice. But yeah, I would like to see what you lot are working on and how it turns out. There is also a troubleshooting part, so in case you run into some trouble or you just have questions, you can just, you know, write them down in here and I'll answer as soon as I can. Anyway, keep up the good work and I'll see you in the next one.